Kobe Bryant wouldn't have even been in the NBA had it not been for Michael Jordan. Picture this, Madison Square Garden, 1998. Jordan, in what would be his last All-Star game as a Chicago Bull, standing on the same floor as a 19-year-old named Kobe Bryant. The kid is fearless, throwing down high-flying dunks, attacking the rim with a flair that looked eerily familiar. It was almost as if Jordan was watching his reflection, a younger version of himself wearing purple and gold. And without Jordan, Kobe wouldn't even have been there.
I do know Kobe telling me, I said to him, why'd you not go to college? And he says, I heard MJ was going to retire. And that was his reason for not going to college. I said, what? He goes, yeah, he was going to retire, and I wanted to make sure I played against him.
That night symbolized more than an exhibition game. It was a passing of the torch. The question since then has always been the same. Just how close was Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan? Let's start with the eye test, because if you've ever watched them back to back, the similarities were uncanny. Jordan's game was poetry in motion. The jaw-dropping dunks, the hang time that defied gravity, the circus layups where he twisted midair, contorting his body to find an angle no one else could. He won the 1987 and 1988 slam dunk contests, cementing himself as both an elite player and an entertainer who could electrify a crowd. Kobe followed those exact footsteps. At just 18, he entered the 1997 dunk contest and won. His flair was different. Youthful, showy, but undeniably Jordan-esque. And when he stepped onto the Garden floor for that 1998 All-Star game, his dunks and athletic finishes weren't just highlights, they were a statement. He wasn't scared of the moment, he wanted to be the moment, just like MJ. Both men lived for visuals that transcended the box score. Jordan floating through the lane in Game 2 of the 1991 Finals against the Lakers, switching hands midair for one of the most iconic layups ever. Kobe answering years later with his own impossible finishes. Double pumps, reverses, off-balance shots with two defenders draped on him. The resemblance wasn't coincidence. Kobe studied Michael's game religiously. He mimicked his footwork, his fadeaway, his jab steps. At times, it was like watching a remake of the original masterpiece. Now let's talk clutch, and you won't believe this, but Kobe did not come that close to Jordan in this category. Michael Jordan's playoff resume is littered with game-winning shots. The most famous, the shot over Craig Elo in 1989, a cold-blooded jumper that announced Jordan as a playoff assassin. Then in 1997 in the finals against Utah, the dagger over Brian Russell. And of course, his finale in 1998, the crossover, the push-off, the jumper at the top of the key, sealing his 6th championship with the most iconic game winner in NBA history. Kobe tried to build his reputation in the same way. While he didn't have as many playoff game winners as Jordan, he had his fair share of unforgettable daggers. In 2000 against Portland in the Western Conference Finals, he threw the alley-oop to Shaq to seal the series. In 2006, he hit the pull-up jumper at the buzzer against Phoenix in the first round, arms outstretched as the Staples Center exploded. In 2010, he hit a dagger 3 over the Celtics in the finals. Where Jordan made the most of his playoff game winners on the biggest stage, Kobe was the master of the regular season dagger. No one in the 2000s struck more fear into opponents in the final seconds than the Black Mamba. One area often overlooked in these comparisons is defense. Michael Jordan wasn't just an offensive machine, he was a lockdown defender. In 1988, he won Defensive Player of the Year, something Kobe never achieved. Jordan was relentless on the perimeter, using his length, quickness, and competitiveness to suffocate scores. His 9 all-defensive first-team selections speak volumes. Kobe, though, wasn't far behind. He made 9 all-first defensive teams as well, tying Jordan in that category. He took pride in guarding the opponent's best player, whether it was Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Paul Pierce, or even later, Steph Curry. He relished the challenge, and his footwork and discipline mirrored Jordan's. But the difference? Jordan's peak defensive dominance was greater, as he could shut down players while still carrying the offense. Kobe was elite defensively, but Jordan was on another level when it came to pure two-way control. Then there are the accolades. Michael Jordan won 5 regular season MVP awards. Kobe, just 1 in 2008. This is perhaps the biggest statistical gap in their careers, and Kobe honestly can't stack up. Many argue Kobe deserved more, and maybe, especially in the mid-2000s when his Lakers were less stacked. But the numbers don't lie. MJ's dominance was recognized more consistently. Jordan has 6 championships in 6 finals appearances, never losing on the biggest stage. Kobe had 5 championships in 7 trips, including a three-peat alongside Shaquille O'Neal, and 2 more as the unquestioned leader in 2009 and 2010. That puts him 1 shy of MJ, and while Jordan's 6-0 record is untouchable, Kobe's 5 rings put him ahead of nearly every other superstar in history. In terms of NBA Finals MVPs, Jordan has 6, while Kobe has just 2. This highlights the difference between being the guy every time versus sharing the stage with Shaq early in his career. And when it comes to all NBA teams, Jordan made 11 all NBA teams, 10 of them first team. Kobe, 15 all NBA teams with 11 first team nods. In terms of longevity and recognition, Kobe arguably surpassed Jordan here. But there was one key area where Kobe truly matched Michael Jordan, and that was mentality. Jordan was the original killer, the man who manufactured slights to fuel his competitiveness, the man who would humiliate opponents, teammates, anyone who stood in his way. His work ethic was the stuff of legend, the first in the gym, the last to leave, obsessed with perfection. Kobe saw that and said, I want to be that, but even more. The Mamba mentality was then born. Stories of Kobe's work ethic are endless, showing up at 4 a.m. to get up shots, practicing the same moves hundreds of times until it was second nature, playing through injuries most would sit out. Both men shared that cold-blooded drive. They weren't satisfied with good, they demanded greatness, and not just of themselves, but everyone around them. Teammates feared disappointing them, opponents dreaded facing them, fans revered them for it. Michael Jordan redefined basketball. He turned the NBA into a global phenomenon, a marketing empire, a cultural icon. The Air Jordan brand, the highlight reel plays, the championships, his legacy is untouchable. Kobe, though, took Jordan's blueprint and carried it into a new era. He inspired a generation of players who grew up watching him instead of MJ. Guys like Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, and even Giannis credit Kobe as their biggest influence. If Jordan was the godfather of modern basketball, Kobe was the bridge that carried it into the 2000s and 2010s. Kobe's tragic passing in 2020 only reinforced how deep his influence was. Around the world, players and fans alike mourned not just a legend, but someone they felt connected to. Someone who embodied work, resilience, and artistry. So just how close was Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan? In terms of visuals, nearly identical. Edge Jordan. The dunks, the fadeaways, the swagger. Kobe was the closest mirror image of Jordan's game we'll ever see. In terms of clutch moments, Kobe had plenty, but Jordan's playoff daggers remain unmatched. In terms of defense, both elite, though Jordan's Defensive Player of the Year sets him apart. In terms of accolades, Kobe couldn't match MJ's MVPs or Finals MVPs, but he nearly matched them in rings and surpassed them in all NBA appearances. In terms of mentality, equals. 2 killers, 2 workaholics, 2 icons who refused to settle. Ultimately, Kobe Bryant was the closest thing the league has ever seen to Michael Jordan. But while he reached extraordinary heights, he still fell short of Jordan's overall standard. The perfect 6-0 finals record, the MVPs, the singular dominance. And maybe that's the beauty of it. Kobe never needed to be Michael Jordan. He was Kobe Bryant, the ultimate student, the fiercest competitor, and the greatest echo of Jordan the game has ever seen.